Alright, we have a couple of things to do here, so let's start with checking out the mysterious sound that's in the forest of Karna.
You know what we're going to find in here, don't you?
As much as anyone can.
Let's not answer the question, Celebrimbor.
Maybe it's a ghost.
Well, I mean, there is a cave full of ghosts.
Mm-hmm. And heck, we are literally tethered to one right now, so why not?
Go! Go! It haunts us!
What creature haunts this forest?
Oh, Karnan is no creature. She is nature itself.
She calls us.
Talion, we must move.
Yeah, if even Celebrimbor tells you to stay alert, you should probably, you know... Oh.
Have some mercy, Ranger. Don't leave me like
Who
He's
or
literally
what
asking
lives
us
in
to
this
kill
forest?
Cool story.
Cool story, bro.
Alright, let's interrogate him.
she's taking us
From a first-person perspective, ooh.
Eh?
Fancy today, are we?
Ooh, hey.
So someone, apparently a she,
This
is
is the
picking
unholy
them up.
union of the editing of Saw, the first-person perspective of the Blair Witch Project, and the approaching something from Evil Dead.
Uh-huh.
What an unholy union.
This is the forest.
I guess.
And she will protect it with the full power of nature.
This forest is possessed by death as much as life.
The two are bound together. That is Karnan.
You have no idea what you've walked into. You'll never make it out of here alive. Or did. Or whatever you are.
Ah, joke's on you. I can reset the game enough times that I will probably make it through just fine.
Basically.
Seems that the spirit of this forest is able also to control the fauna, not just the trees.
Why do these beasts not attack us?
They hear her song. They are part of her as she is part of them. Yet they will defend. She is watching us.
No. She's drawing us in. This Karnan has been busy. Where are you?
It seems that Karnan does not like visitors.
I mean, yeah.
Don't mind us. Just enjoy your meal,
Like
guys.
I said, they seem to be pretty content to be there. The Wraith mode doesn't even register them as enemies. So we need to follow the trail of corpses towards. There you go. To someone
So we're
new
fighting
we
the
can
entire
interrogate.
forest, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that seems like a day in Talion's life nowadays.
We'll fight our way out and then settle our differences. In here we're just
Interesting proposal.
Wow.
I don't care.
So this is so bad that it actually gets Urks to consider cooperating with the Tark, as they put it.
Desperation.
Like, that's the thing. Orcs are pretty hard-headed, so it takes a lot to break them.
Oh.
Well, that wasn't them.
No. I don't think Freya lives there.
Well, at least we
Again,
got sunlight here.
The spirit doesn't seem to appreciate guests in her forest, so...
Unlike this fleshling. Well
Huh, I noticed this one doesn't have a sexy human form.
It's more like the spirit is, you know, taking forms of the different beasts and animals that roam around Mordor.
So she's sort of like Pan in the sense that she'll take
yes.
the form.
She's voiced by Tox Olagundoye, native Nigerian, although her mother is Norwegian, interestingly enough. She's been in a lot of stuff, particularly Western cartoons. One role that I recognize immediately, the new voice of Miss Beakley in the new DuckTales series.
You know, I gotta give Colin Brimore credit. For as arrogant as he has been, even
Again,
though we have the ring,
yeah, that's actually a symbol. Like, sorry, that's something that you need to pay attention. Like, if Kelly Brimbor is pissing his pants with this, it's best if you actually, you know, listen to what he says when, you know, instead of telling go like, oh, don't do anything.
Keep in mind, Colin Brimore wanted to 1v1 flippin' Shelob, who, at this point in the canon, is legit one of the most powerful beings on the world. So, how bad does Karnan have to be to get Colin Brimore to go, yeah, no, let's live to fight another day, my dude?
Speaking of this, might as well let me mention this. Don't worry about this. The elemental drought is something that I explained in the first game. It's something that's similar to what the DLC of the first game had, having a variant of the Grogs that are just, you know, having special different attacks. I finally found the voice actress of Shelob for this game, Pollyanna McIntosh. She's voiced a lot of stuff. She's voiced not much stuff in terms of, you know, voice acting career, because she's mostly a TV and movie actress. She was Jadis in The Walking Dead. I think it was one of the later seasons. But the only other role that I recognize it recently is that she was a supporting character in Forspoken. Again, this fight instead, you essentially have to endure one round per, you know, beast that the spirit conjures. Ow. And unfortunately, since there are no orcs around, you have to rely with the elf that you have.
Aside from Shelob, are there any, like, plot elements that could actively potentially screw with the canon? Or is it like, again,
later? Okay, if we want to be technical, we already encountered one, because the transformation of Minas Ithil into Minas Morgul, if I recall correctly, when it comes to the timeline, it should have happened a few centuries before this. Although it does still feel a bit in line, the idea that the Regent was eventually corrupted by the Nazgûls and eventually became the, you know, the bastion of the ring wraiths, you know.
And to give him credit, like, well, that's a plot detail that you might not know unless you're, like, incredibly high-def lore with this series. Like, what I mean is, like, well, were there any egregious things that some might even dare call insert fan fiction
later, but towards the end of the game, Jova. Don't worry.
Okay.
Die alone, we. Nature's tune, the spangled sky and sea. We all die together.
Well, it seems this Karnan isn't as powerful.
Don't jinx it.
Fucking idiot.
Why do I get the feeling she likes to do that?
Well, he was asking for it. What was that you were saying?
Nothing.
to rise and rise again. In a whole
The way you're speaking of the spirit of Karnan is a bit cryptic. It's more of a
What
case where
have we
you can
unleashed?
understand what she's saying, but she's not formulating phrases in a logical way. It's kind of like each phrase. It's like assembling a puzzle. I understand. Eh.
cry and clamor. You have woken Torgorot.
There you go, Jova. She does have a human form, but I argue it's not really that as sexy as the one of Shelob. If anything, she resembles more a concept that we heard about from the main movies, an ant wife, but the devs were all purposefully cryptic in stating if she's supposed to be an ant wife or not.
She looks like a female version of one of those living trees.
Like I said, an ant wife. The Syndicate of Two Towers mentions that the ants are a species going to extinct because the ant wife migrated to the east, which would fit with the behavior of, people like the Spirit of Karnan.
Your
But anyway, her spirit is a bit complicated. She doesn't hate Talion Celebrimbor per se. She doesn't like the fact that they're undead, by technical terms. But she understands that they're not completely evil.
We're here, your
Is she one of those people who's like, what's dead should stay dead?
In a sense, because she's connected deeply to nature. But there are bigger problems with them. She mentioned the name, Talgoroth. It's actually a creature that's apparently about to be awakened in one of the other regions of Mordor, and eventually we'll have to,
We will find.
there you go, find them. And that will be essentially the quest line of the Spirit of Karnan.
So it sounds like we've got a dragon quest on our hands.
Dragon is a bit non-descriptive of what we have to find in a few parts.
and soon.
So I think I've got sort of the general idea here.
Story
It's like, well,
says.
for each region we come to, there's like a big overseer of it. Like for the first fraction of the game, we had Shelob, and now I'm guessing for the next fraction of the game, we've got Karnan.
Well, yes and no. It's more of a case of each region does have someone that starts a quest, but because of the events of, character running around, it would involve the entirety of Mordor and you having to jump around between regions catching up.
Yes, we must go.
The first section was merely a bit on rail in order to ease you up into the mechanics of the game. But enough about that, we have a siege to prepare.
Oh boy, and you know what that means. More
This will-
Nemesis mechanics.
This is literally what sold me to the game properly, even if I might have not cared at first, which I still was, because they even had an entire gameplay demonstration, although, like I said, it was prepared as more of a cutscene than anything, but it was more a descriptive way. If you need a reminder, this fortress has 2 slots that we stealthily occupied by 2 captains that we recruited, so we should have things much easier, in our conquest letter. Now we just need to nominate a few other captains, that we can, put in our ranks. The more you level up, the more, slots will be open, so it depends also on your power level. The more powerful you are, the better you can resist the siege. You can actually, perform the siege.
Very nice.
It's worth noting that, again, they mentioned, if you forgot, Bruce mentioned that the overlord of this fortress, which we haven't seen yet, is called an Ettin, which in mythology, classic Celtic mythology and everything, is a troll-like creature with 2 heads, so we need to find out when we actually confront them. But essentially, when the siege will start, we will have a bit of a chat between when the overlord shows up, and then the first 2 slots that you see on the top left, are occupied with your captain. In this case, one is occupied automatically by Bruce, but in normal circumstances, you can choose which captain will be there, and you will get a bit of chat, between them, with appropriate response depending on, different
I think it's
circumstances.
time we met this 2-headed overlord.
You won't be
All right.
overlord for long.
And the game certainly knows how to hype things up. First, there you go, Talion actually shows up on the front. then in procedure the Overlord will come out of the fortress for a speech.
I like how they apparently keep track of your custom warriors.
Yes.
My black speech is a little rusty. Actually, I don't know a single word. Language is a pain in the
Thanks,
ass,
Bruce.
but to hazard a guess, he said we're all gonna die horribly. Yeah, my kind of bloke.
I will handle the Overlord. You focus on the defenders.
Define focus.
Pay attention.
Yeah.
I
For
suppose.
throw? Oh no, wait, we can't say that yet.
No, we can say that.
Alright, because we have 2 plants, there you go. They make sure to sabotage part of the walls and immediately blow them up, or the gate, so you can easily get there. Once you get inside, it's essentially a capture the flag kind of, mission. You get to meet to specific points, capture them. In this case, they are automatically captured because of infiltrated people, otherwise you will need to stand around a bit and confront the warships if they're present.
Is there anything more satisfying than a well-executed plan? Apart from conquering a fortress, of course. Ripper gear this lot has. Maybe I'll pick up a sword for myself. I could use a new toothpick.
Priorities are well in order, I see.
Yeah, like Talion said. But every time you have, one of your infiltrated captains, sabotaging the fortress, they will even come out and say, wow, they were so stupid, they did not even find me out. So that begs the question, can a person that you infiltrated be found out? Yes. And you get even a special cutscene right at the beginning of the siege where the Overlord executes them on the spot. But these can have different kind of variations, but I will mention more as the game goes on.
They never suspect. Stupid orcs deserve to lose force.
Yeah, this fort is actually quite shit in terms of defenses anyway.
What are we even doing here?
I fancy this fort capturing business. And once this one's yours, you'll need a new overlord. I'd like to throw my hat in.
You don't have a hat, and it's up to mine.
His potential is nearly unlimited.
Yeah, unlimited power potential.
No.
Killing the Overlord will send a message throughout this region. That message comes from me.
So yeah, last bit of do after you conquered all of the points is to open up the gates of the internal part of the fortress and confront the Overlord yourself. Normally you will have to fight the Overlord in a one-on-one fight, but this one, for story reason, is going for a different direction.
Right.
This fort belongs to the Bright Lord now!
The Bright Lord? What a shitty name.
It's Ratbag!
Well.
People were not particularly keen the fact that he got killed and Stremosi by the tower, so they essentially put a bit of a retcon and, make him survive. Kinda. Yeah, there you go.
Keep in mind, though, pretty sure last we saw him, he was, lethally killed. Not
No,
something
as you mentioned, he just got a bump on the head. Oh, no.
Rose. Welcome. The man is a friend. The Olog, watch him. Make sure he don't do anything suspicious, like, kill me. How did you end up here? Well, I was captured by some slavers, actually. They weren't all slavers. 2 were cannibals, 1 was a necromancer. Fun bunch. They captured this Olog. Oh, he was in rough shape.
growing something of a beard, I see.
Olog jumps out, arms go a-flying, and then here we are, best of friends.
True adventure.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Oh, right. I should tell him about the fort thing. Thank you for that. It's kind of a long story. Ranger killed the old overlord, now it's ours.
Ranger?
Oh, yeah, I named him after you.
How cute.
It's been nice catching up and all. Right Lord and me just came by to tell you that the fort's ours.
Right, Lord. Well, you are welcome to it, Right Lord. Me and Ranger are done with the Overlord game. It's a right pain. You gotta feed your followers, train your followers, make sure you don't get killed by your followers. Yeah, it's a right bother.
I mean,
Well, your worries are over. Because now I'm overlord.
Oh.
No, not you. Anybody but you. Whatever you need, me and Ranger have got you covered.
Let's have a democratic vote.
A little confusing, isn't it? But the point is, Bruise cannot be Overlord.
Zupaki. I'm not working for these two. I'll tell you that right now.
That works out.
yeah, I'm with
perfectly,
Kyle on this
because we
one.
got no character openings for half.
Yeah, Littlest Shadow of War is now a comedy.
Like I said, I'm not 100% fan of this comedy tone, but it has its ups. So yeah, by suggesting Celebrimbor, let's ignore both of them and decide ourselves who to put there, which doesn't involve
Yeah.
rules, thankfully.
Yeah, just have a democratic vote.
No, I'm the Bright Lord, I do what I had to. But first, what normally we'll do, a speech after you conquer the fortress.
Uh-huh.
Fought and suffered, but still we stand. There is a new power in Mordor. You! In the days ahead, we will fight other battles and claim other fortresses. But starting today, Mordor belongs to you. Mordor belongs to the Bright Lord.
Thanks, Two-Face.
And then Sauron's like, belongs to the what?
Well, yeah, we're literally asserting our dominance to the fort by conquering this fortress. And yeah, it will literally extend to the entire region. All in a day's work. Anyway, like I said, after each conquering a fortress, you decide which captain to promote as overlord and which to war chief, and the fortress will change appearance because of that.
Upgrade our defenses before Sauron attempts to reclaim what we have lost.
Now, you can immediately jump over these to the quest that introduces instead you having to resist a siege, because Sauron, of course, will send his forces to try to recapture the fortress, but we'll put that technically on hold right now. For the time being, we will have a minor, a couple of other minor missions in the meantime.
Almost forgot to tell you one last thing. Now that you have my fort, it will eventually come under attack, which you already know since you attacked it once yourself. Nicely done, by the way. The thing is, you don't always need to be on the defense. You have scouts who can sniff out enemy forts, so you can go on the attack yourself.
This is, while it's a bit awkward if it's presenting, this is essentially the game telling you that there's also an online functionality in which you can attack a fortress that is actually defended by another player. But don't worry, if you win, that fortress will not go under your control, so a player that attacks you will not reclaim your fortress in the meantime, thankfully. It's just a matter of, disputing the sieges even if you've conquered everything in the main game. Again, just a bit of having fun more than anything, without having to harm any other player. The only thing that changes is essentially your online rank, which nets you some minor rewards, like say, pieces of gear. But it's something that you can, get in the games anyway. Yeah, fuck off.
Please.
Let me get some intel in the meantime, and after this we'll get introduced properly more to the pit fights, which we have seen in a couple of previous parts, but you have a new way of using them once you conquer the fortress of a region. Ow. Who did that? Okay, whatever.
The fight pits. You know, this is more than just a place to pop some orcs' heads off. Although that is something I cannot recommend enough. But the fight pits are where you can test your followers. See what happens when they have a go at some other geezer. You're always bringing in tough orcs to fight. And if your fella survives, you'll be stronger for the experience. If he snuffs it, well, the one who's coming in has what it takes. So there's a potential new recruit. And however it shakes out, your boys will love watching the show. Nothing boosts morale up like bodies going down.
Okay then.
Just hope it's not their own bodies.
Again, demonstration. Again, we already seen this. When it comes to pit fights that are attached to the fortress, essentially they're divided in 3 tiers, which are, you know, basically easy, medium, and high, and hard. Essentially, if you manage to survive out of all of them, you will automatically gain a slot for your defense when it comes to the fortress, which I will showcase later. But it's essentially a bit of a gauntlet. And if I recall correctly, if you survive like 5 in a row on hard, the orc that you selected there will automatically be promoted to the legendary status if they don't already have it. Essentially, become more powerful.
Wasn't that a good
Alright.
time? Grog was drunk, laughs were had, blood was shed, and Grog was drunk. Ah, there's no fight like a pit fight.
Whatever, let's take
Yeah, have a-
booze out of my face
have
for
a-
the time being.
Have a pea dagger from the look of it.
There you go. Now it tells that there are a couple of 2 other regions technically have appeared, 3 technically, but one of them is a bit special. But in order to resume instead the other quest lines, we have to go back to Kiritungol for this, which I will instead conquer in the next part. Technically, we cannot reconquer for the time being Minas Morgul because, you know, the Nazguls are a bit tough for the time being. But we can technically start already trimming the population of captains in the region if we want. We can really go back and get the side stuff. We just cannot conquer its fortress for the time being. But the 3 new regions have opened. Only 2 of them technically are mandatory. You know, Seregost and Gorgorov. But I will explore more those in the next couple of parts and not immediately. And again, each of those have their own set of collectibles that you can do, ban your own fortress. So the main bulk of the game is get into the new region, you know, explore it, get all the trinkets that you can, see how big the fortress is, you know, what are the insides, you know, and everything. Corrupt or, you know, brainwash all the captains that you want, and then prepare the siege to conquer it. Basically, for the time being, let's reprise the questline with El Tariel. We forgot the Nazgûs have select a bunch of orcs that will be deemed as chosen and infuse with their part of their essence in order to try to capture the Hadir.
The chosen are created. I thought it'd be more festive.
The Nazgûl is entirely focused on the ritual. This is the perfect time to strike.
Alright then.
Archers cover the approach. It would be wise to eliminate them quietly.
Sure.
You say so.
The big Sparta's a danger, true enough. But the thought of 100 little ones.
So yeah, for this one, again, you technically test to to eliminate, but you can also dominate them if you want to gain an extra bit of an advantage. Because again, with this kind of mission, you still have to eliminate all of the Chosens, you know. You cannot just, you know, leave them be. You can technically shame them and make them, you know, run away, but you still need to, you know, fight them properly. So a bit of extra firepower, you know, can work out. And the
Right
third
then.
one.
What a welcoming place we're at.
Although I fear that Eltarian might have started, you know, getting to work earlier. Again, if you don't impart a command to the AI, they will just, you know, decide a bit what to do, and some of them might decide to, you know, charge in guns blazing. Well, I remember Troy Baker being the one that said that heroes don't need plans, so... There we go. I think we're good to go. Oh, there she is. Also, there are some traps on the ground. Standard stuff, if you actually step on them, you will be mobilized and you need to press a button repeatedly, usually X, in order to free yourself. Nothing new. There we go. Ow. And yes, in this case you have to fight both the Free Chosen and the Nazgul.
I can destroy you from within. I serve the Nazgul, as they serve the Witch King, as you will serve him. The Dark Lord will hold you to your promises. Do not disappoint him.
I do whatever I want, sorry mate.
Come to join these three in service to the Witch King. For that is your destiny. You must know this. We will never stop.
Can you keep that sword away from me, please? I don't fancy wearing your outfit.
It's all for protection.
Alright. It's not necessarily a Morgul blade with it's their standard sword. Remember, the Morgul blade was more of a dagger that they used against Frodo. But yeah, some of these are a bit tricky because, like I said, being chosen, you cannot obviously recruit, so you're forced either to kill them or shame them. But some of these tend to already have some particular resistance traits that are a bit annoying, like Vault Breaker, which, you know, prevents you for, you know, jumping on them in order to try to attack from behind, which for a defender is basically like giving a bigger advantage more than he already has. So you have to watch out. Again, it's a good thing Eltariel also is giving you a hand with this. But if you want, you can also summon your bodyguard, because at this point you might have already recruited someone. So... Ow. Also have to be careful because, like I said in the previous game, your last chances are not, you know, infinite. After like the 2 or 3, you will actually be automatically killed if you enter that kind of state. And in case of an orc, the one that has killed you, you know, will be promoted. So you don't want that. Yeah, I was contemplating to shame him or not, but they said, he's already low def enough, so let's get this over with. Not to mention I regained some health by doing this. There we go. Yeah, some orcs also, as a last desperation attempt, when killed, will drop bombs, it means you need to get out of dodge immediately. So... Sorry, Eltariel, I kinda need to resolve things out before I can heal you.
Of course.
There we go. Again, each fight becomes, frantic if you, where you can, regardless of how powerful you are, you can still, get trampled if you're not careful. But there you go. With the Nazgul actually down, all remains is defeat the remaining chosen. So. Yeah, I'm gonna kill this one too. Why not?
I thought you were going to say this. Say your mom is ashamed of you.
There we
But
go.
why?
She didn't want you to join these guys. She wanted you to play Nazgul basketball.
But this was not the last ritual, and it will not be the last fight.
There you go.
Alright then.
The effects of our victory will be far-reaching. We've seized the initiative. Now they are forced onto the defensive.
Back an enemy into a corner, eh? Usually when they become the most dangerous.
I mean, we
That
kind of
is
still
true.
need to do it,
Basically, keep doing what we're doing, but get more wary the more we conquer.
Anyway, tune in next time where we instead take our conquering to Kiritungol and we conquer that. See you for that.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.